is precious, and to achieve a good life, one needs to look after their health. Tune to QTV every Friday at 16 hours for your health talk with Nelson.
QTV on Zuku Channel 44 and Channel 20 on Movie Platform.
All right, so the breakfast show continues, and of course, joining me now is Honorable Mukondo, who is from the Patriotic Front Media Administration Department. And of course, we are here to talk about quite a number of issues pertaining to national development. And on top of that, I think it's also important to give ourselves kudos for abiding to, adhering to public health guidelines as given by the Ministry of Health. I think you've noticed that of late, we have been recording very, very few cases as compared to the thousands that we had started recording, especially in January. And mostly is because you have abided and adhered to, the public health guidelines that were given. Honorable, thank you so much for coming through. I think kudos to all of us, really. I think we've done well in taking the second wave of COVID-19 personally.
Very serious, yes. Good morning, Comrade, and I'm humbled once again to be here. And I think, as you have already said, it cannot be overemphasized. And, as you said, we are posting thousands, meaning people are not adhering to the COVID guidelines. And to come up with what the Honorable Minister has talked about, even with the rate of saying 92% adherence, is it recovery? Mm-hmm. That makes Zambia to be the first nation on earth. That should speak volume to all of us. And our appeal as the Patriotic Front is that we continue asking our members of the public that can we continue demonstrating the same leadership? Can we take these norms and entrench them into our homes? We should not relent. If you hear that kudos are coming, that we are behaving well, our behaviors has been extremely exceptional when it comes to the COVID, the second wave. But basically, our appeal again, it's we appeal to the general public that we still have this COVID pandemic in our midst, and we still have a lot of people are succumbing to the same. But the word of encouragement also goes to the health experts who have been making this 92% recovery rate to be possible for us. It means the nurses, the doctors, and then also the health expert. Just basically the Ministry of Health has exceptionally performed well, and they can be helped if we continue adhering to the same international standards, and then also the localized standards like Fuitikila, and then also to be drinking these supplements like take a lot of eggs, and then also building our immune system by also taking milk. It's important that we continue adhering to the same. And also the kudos goes to especially you, the QFM. You have been the leaders in this fight of COVID-19. Almost on a daily basis you have been updating us, and we thank you for being such a good conduit of help to the government. And basically, our concern is that everyone out there, let's continue taking care of our health, because we can only be a nation if we're a healthy nation.
Definitely,
yes.
Definitely. According to the 2020 International Peace Index as released recently, Zambia has been ranked 4th most peaceful country in Africa. What does that tag mean for Zambia as a country, especially that this is an election year?
Yeah, especially that this is an election year. First, as the PF, we just say, no, wow, this is what we are as the number 4th in the world. And I think this goes exactly to one President, one Edgar Chagwa, who has been presiding over this nation. And for us, I think the approach that he has taken, that one of being resilient in these hard times, and then also being fatherly, especially that a lot of people have been saying, no, look, the president has been too much further, he overlooked some of these things. I think this is where we are as we stand today. We are the fourth peaceful nation on earth, and that speaks volume for us. And we still get back to the SONA and the law and order that we are talking about, and then also in line with the revision of the Public Order Act. This is the same Public Order Act that has achieved this position that we have enjoyed. So basically, it's important that even when you look at the revision, we could even throw ourselves, we could be throwing ourselves from the pan to the fires. So basically, it's important that we should look at it, but this is what it has achieved, and where we stand, especially that it's an election year, such statistics should be taken and broadcasted to the whole world. And then also, it's not only to the whole world, but we should make sure that as party functionaries, we take such a positive image to our people in rural areas, and then also the far-flung areas where our people need such information, so that it's only through peace that we can attain whatever goals we have set and objective. And this same peace is the reason why that today we have seen our friends, the United Party for National Development, in their own eyes, they have had a successful convention, and then also conference, and then also ourselves, we have been conducting all these conferences in all 10 provinces. We are only remaining with Lusaka, by the way, and that comes from the same peace that has been presided over by one Edgar Chagwalungu, and then also under the government of the Patriotic Front. So basically, I think as we stand today, the kudos should also be extended to our vice president, our national chairperson, and then also to the secretariat, that this is the information that is speaking volume on what they are presiding on as the people who are in the upper echelons of this leadership of this country. So basically, that index speaks volume, because if it was negative, we would have, if it was it was worse, we would have heard the opposition. They would have used this statistic to dent the image of this country. But basically, our view is that we are all Zambians. It also extends to the opposition that let us be peaceful. Let us continue following this positive trajectory, so that at the end of the day, we may continue developing this nation through that peace that the international community has so much cherished and has continued making as an example to the world. You are just talking about the COVID response, at which we stand almost 92%, and this is telling that the nation, we are far much better than what is happening in Zimbabwe, in South Africa, and these other nations. So basically, Zambians, we cannot only be an example to the world through this being peaceful beacon, and then also when it comes to the health-wise, we have managed to move as a nation. Basically, I think it speaks volume for us.
Amazing. As a party in power, and a party that is also hoping to retain power come 12th August 2021 during the general elections, how are you looking, or what are your plans to make sure that this peace that Zambia has attained, or this position that Zambia has attained, maintains, or we even drop to number 3, 2, or even as the most peaceful country in Africa?
Look at what we have done already when it comes to infrastructure and then also equipment. We have equipped, in 2020, we had made sure that the budget was allocated a good portion to our defense wings, and in particular the police. We saw the equipment that moved in, and I think it's of international standard. It's part of that keeping peace, and to make sure that all these other peace, in most cases the people who disturb our peace, they are foreigners, so that we keep them at bay. So I think we have demonstrated that leadership. And I spoke about the other one which you have seen, is this infrastructure when it comes to cyber technology, and then also it comes to surveillances. We have seen that this government, they have come up with such infrastructure. So even as we head toward this 2021 12 August elections, I think we have continued giving the police the so much needed resources, and these resources start from technology itself and then also the equipment. So basically I think as a Patriotic Front, that has been our stand: infrastructure development, and then also to make sure that the logistics that have been given to the people that implement the Public Order Act, and that is the police. And for us, the other one which the president has spoken about is democratization process itself. We have made sure that we have gone into the provincial units of this nation, the provincial conferences they have been conducted. It's part of that making sure that peace is attained. Because leadership, where I find that there is no proper tenets of democracy which have been exhibited from the ward level, the constituency level, the district level, the provincial level, you find that people be complaining, and that can speak volumes against what we have been professing when it comes to peace. So basically, we have extended this through what the party has been doing, so that we maintain the peace, and then we also attain the same position of number one in the world. We are almost there. You are only remaining with the 3 slots.
We're almost there, remaining with 3 slots.
Yes.
But obviously, we've seen what has happened in other African countries, where during an election, there's always that comes up that threatens the peace and stability of that country. And I think that's the reason why President Edgar Lungu emphasized much on rule and order. So as a party in power that wants to support the SONA that the president, the SONA from the president, and
Yes.
That wants to support the policy of law and order as enshrined and as spoken about by President Edgar Lungu. How do you plan to tame your cadres to make sure that they do not become unruly and disturb the peace?
Basically, look, we have not been on the side of people who have a history of saying that the Patriotic Front cadres have been very violent, the cadres have been very uncompromised when it comes to the outcome of these election results. We have not proved that, because if you look at our history, it tells us from where we are coming from, especially our cadres. The normal problem which we have, it's whereby you find there are these occasions where events where you have a funeral. You find that party cadres will be misbehaving to see that maybe they want to take their law in their own hands to see to it that maybe they are the only one who are given way to the graveyards. These are some of the hiccups that we have had. But I think the president has said it. We are not going to support any criminal. We are not supposed to side with any criminal activities. And this he has continued speaking through the Secretary General, One Davis Mwira. And even when we are conducting our elections in, over the weekend, the Secretary General talked about we are not going to entertain any criminality. And the Central Committee, these are some of the resolutions that they came up with in the most recent meeting that they had. They talked about the same criminality of the cadres, that we are not going to side with such, and not even any suspension has been lifted when it comes to those people who have been involved in such criminalities, attacking the police station, attacking whatever. All those people have been suspending. The suspension has not been lifted. This is what the ruling party has continued demonstrating. That is leadership. And for us, we cannot go beyond that. And we are a democracy. We need to continue show also the face of being fatherly. So basically, as a Patriotic Front, we have continued cherishing the tenets of democracy through implementing disciplinary actions.
All right, so Zambia has been ranked as the 4th most peaceful country in Africa by the International Peace Index. And this was actually alluded to by Indian High Commissioner to Zambia, Madam Kabiji Mpanga, who talked about, what that means for the country. And of course, she emphasized on the fact that, stakeholders and investors should take advantage of the fact that, Zambia is peaceful, and it provides that environment for them to invest. And some of the sectors that she highlighted where the investment can be done, she talked about energy, agriculture, and of course, medicine as well. She wants Zambia to be the hub of medical tourism as well. And for the Patriotic Front, wow, that is a kudos for them, looking at the fact that we're in an election year and Zambia still ranks number 4 as the most peaceful country. Let's see how that is going to progress as we go towards an election. But so far, so good. Honorable, as I let go of you,
Yes.
you had these provincial elections
Yes,
in
yes.
the 10 provinces of the country.
Yes.
How are the results coming in? How is the mood in the camp?
As I said that last time, the mood has been so exciting, and especially that in the past 9 provincial conferences, the president has been in attendance, and it has happened so smoothly that we have never had any people who have been felt like their views, or is it their position has not been taken into consideration. All the leaders at the end of the days, I think those who are aspiring, they have been reconciled, and we are coming out as a more formidable front, more united than before. And for us, the quietness of this whole event, it shows what kind of a leader one Edgar Chagwalungu is. And then also the kudos goes to the Secretary General Davis Mwila, who has continued demonstrating leadership. Having election at from what level, from 2018 to where we are, it's something which is very difficult, time consuming, and then resource consuming. And where individuals are involved, where leadership change could be involved, it involves a lot of bruising here and there. But this time around, I think the leadership has demonstrated that we do not have even one defector from any provincial conference. We do not have even any one individual who said, no, this one has assaulted me, or this group was doing this. But it has been so transparent that we have even seen former provincial officials who are heading these provincial committees becoming former. Like, we have seen youths taking up the upper echelons of power, like on the Koba Belt, Eastern Province. We have the youth wing who are now leaders today. We have people who are very new, exceptionally new. If you go to Northern Province, Western Province, the names that we had, like Honorable Chilangwa, they are now former. So basically, these are some of the things that we should embrace. And we have names like Chendela now is Vice Provincial Chairman for Wapula. That's a very good classic example of what we have been telling our friends. Other colleagues like KBF participate into these provincial officials, provincial conferences, so that you may also qualify to the supreme body of the organ. Don't just depend on being appointed or favors. A lot of people, especially the professionals, they would just want to be appointed from nowhere without undergoing through all these elective positions. They would want to be in the central committee, which is the supreme body. But in most cases, such leaders, they have worked to detriment of the survival of the party. But these are the leaders that we have seen that they have come up, and now we have almost we are expecting the provincial, they are about 200, we are expecting 240 by the end of this weekend, and that is in Lusaka. So for us, it's a plus, especially that all the 9 provincial conferences, they were opened by the Republican president, Edgar Chagwalungu. That's a commitment that he has demonstrated, and that's a commitment that he has attached to democracy. So for us, we have come out more formidable, and will continue being the example to others. And this 4th example which we are talking about, it's exactly what is happening in the Patriotic Front. So we are tying with that rating which is coming from the international world to what is happening in the Patriotic Front. It's a peaceful party. It's a party for all women. It's a party for all children. It's a party for all Zambians. So basically, it's a party that does not look at where you are coming from, tribal inclination, whatever. No, we're talking about all the 10 provinces. You go to Western Province, there is a new leadership. You go to Northwestern Province, there is a new leadership. You go to Southern Province, there is a new leadership. So for us, what is now remaining is in Lusaka.
All right, and I guess Lusaka is the last, because that's where the president sits. So let it be the last one. And from there, obviously, they might be looking forward to what next comes. All right, so the breakfast show continues. I've been talking to Honorable Chendela Mukondo from the Patriotic Front Media Admin. The week looks progressive. Let's see what comes up as we go ahead. The Breakfast Show continues.
Zambia is our pride. The country has a varying, unique terrain that brings out nature's boundary. Today, the world has been hit by a horrifying pandemic, the coronavirus. This has immobilized our movements. In times like this, self-preservation should be our main focus. The streets are empty, lonely buildings, and a deserted tourism industry, leaving most of our heritage spots orphaned. But don't worry, we will do the things that matter with the ones we love again. We shall reach to the places we promised ourselves. We shall even discover new ones. So get yourself ready. In order for us to travel tomorrow, we need to stay home today. Practice social distancing, practice good hygiene. Please sanitize your hands. Zisungeni bantu banga, isungeni bantu bandi. We shall meet tomorrow. There is hope. The magnificent, pristine wildlife and nature is what we are waiting to see again. The meetups with friends, the famous brides, the biggest events in the country that brings us together with a tag that is most known to us Zambians, a friendly people. Let us ensure to stay safe. Don't lose hope. This is the perfect opportunity to re-strategize, rebuild, and restart so that we may re-emerge refreshed and revitalized and ready to hit the ground. This message is an initiative of QTV, the 169, and our tour and travel partners in the tourism sector in Zambia. Zambia is our pride. The country has a varying, unique terrain that brings out nature's boundary. Today, the world has been hit by a horrifying pandemic, the coronavirus. This has immobilized our movements. In times like this, self-preservation